Greetings, gamers! I'm Shoot Kapow, and due to some complications, we lost a lot of the Round 1 footage for the ContrarianMons post-Teal Mask tournament, which we are going to be covering today. But luckily, some of Round 2's games have been played, or Stage 2, I guess, because we do also have double elimination, and Losers Round 2 is also taking place, which this game is Losers Round 1 and 2. But this game is from Losers Round 1, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into Arrakis versus Blitz. We have a very interesting team from Blitz on this side. We have Teal, which hasn't seen usage in a very long time, but has been trending a little bit recently. And then we also have a Rain team from Arrakis, something that hasn't been tried out very much, but that could very much surprise us. So let's go ahead and see what we're getting into. We have the Pelipper lead into Teal. Now that Pelipper is not going to be able to switch out. Teal is going to click Metrodome, which is, I mean, what else is Teal really going to do when there's not a Slowking on the team? As you can see by the name, Teal's main job is trapping and removing Galarian Slowking, the best Pokemon in the tier, almost flawlessly. But there isn't much need for that right now, you know? It just isn't that big of a thing. We're going to have Landorus come in on the Klefki and probably start setting up some nasty plots as Klefki Calm Minds up. Yep. And this is interesting. Is that like a metronome? Oh wait, no, it is special. But Santia Storm comes out, which is not a very common pick on Landorus because of its accuracy, but in Rain it is 100% accurate, a sure hit move, making it very, very good on Rain teams. So we're going to have Landorus be taken out by Salamence, and I believe the Salamence is Scarf, but I could be wrong. I'm going to have Pelipper come right back out. It's going to eat up that Draco Meteor, and it's going to click Knock Off, knocking off that Choice Scarf, and you're going to switch out into Torkoal, which is one of the Sunsetters of the meta, for sure. It's not Koraidon, but it is much bulkier. It has very strong moves like that Specs Eruption, which in Sun actually would do a lot of damage, but since Pelipper comes out and sets up Rain, it's not going to be doing much. Like even at full health, probably Choice Specs, Stab Eruption, well, almost full health. But yeah, it's still not going to be doing much. Pelipper's going to U-turn out as Magearna comes out, which is, it could be worse. Like, it is still Magearna, but it's not a great Pokemon, as a sweeper at least. Wave Crash into this guy, and Solar Beam's going to come out, which isn't really the best option. If you had another fire move there, like Flamethrower or something, or Lava Plume, that probably would have been better, since you get Stab on it and it is Sun boosted and it's still neutral. But it isn't going to matter much. Empoleon going to get intimidated, and going to switch out as the other Empoleon comes out. And then I'm going to have Pelipper come out, I'm going to click U-turn. Oh right, yeah, Pelipper actually could escape Teal because of U-turn. Yeah, there is a lot of pivoting in the tier, even with so many Pokemon losing U-turn because they have to go special because of their higher physical attack. Even with so many Pokemon losing U-turn that way, there's still a lot of pivoting, such as Flip Turn on Empoleon, U-turn on things like Greninja. And we are, just a little teaser, we are considering unbanning a particular move under certain circumstances, but that's all I'm saying. All I'm going to say is it's going to make the pivot game a little more interesting. It's going to spice things up a bit. But, yeah, we're going to see Magearna do very little damage to Zapdos there, comparatively. Static not proccing on that first one, and not proccing on the second one either, so Magearna actually had an interesting shot right there. But we are going to see not Bastard Legion come out, even though it's probably Swift soon. Ironhead going to be taking that out, and it's getting so many Soul Harpens that those don't really matter since it can't really use its special attack stat. Player Off, not quite going to take out Empoleon. Swords Dance into, I think, Aqua Jet is going to wrap this up. Yeah, Terra Water Aqua Jet. Yeah, Sword Stance Empoleon is an interesting set. It tends to run utility with like Roost, Knock, Flip Turn, and Stealth Rocks, but and Empoleon roosting out of range there. That's not quite going to get the job done. And Arrakis wins game 1, going to be moving on to a game 2. Overall, some very interesting things. Magirna, like, just this team as a whole doesn't seem very high power. It just seems like a lot of not very good Mons, and then Empoleon, which is fairly decent, I think. Some members of the council aren't exactly sold on Empoleon yet, but I think it's a very good Pokemon. Swords Dance with Aqua Jet is an interesting set. If it still had Defiance, then it'd be better, but unfortunately, Pokemon decided to balance the game for not ContrarianMons. But yeah, let's move on to game 2, and we'll see how things pan out. Alright, we have two very different teams, though Empoleon is still on both of them, and Magirna is still on the opposing side. The opposing side being Blitz's team, because I'm watching from Arrakis' point of view. But we are going to lead off with Rabombi, which Play-Rough into Koraidon was a good option there. Taunt 3 attacks Koraidon has been making a resurgence recently. It tends to run Taunt, Fire Spin for Gloking, and then Draco Meteor for power, and Silver Beam for coverage. It's a good Sun setter. Sun teams have been up and coming recently. Lungberry Magirna is an interesting option. Goldango really doesn't do too much here. It does tank some attacks. It does get that Thunder Wave back off, and it can Pure Flinch here if it wants to, but it decides not to. You send out Landorus as Magirna shifts gears again, and then you just take it out with an Earth Power because you outspeed. Anyway, this is probably max speed Landorus to do that, so not bulky. And of course, Koraidon gonna be coming out and taking the kill anyway, so that doesn't matter. I don't know why you actually... Hold on. The entire rest of this team is kind of weak to ground. You have 3 steel... You have 4 steel types on this team, and Gloking. This team does not do well at all into Landorus, I notice. Especially with Sticky Web up, there isn't going to be a whole lot. Nothing even outspeeds it naturally. Wow. Okay. Guja Quick's Curse, and I think this is where it Terra Ghosts, because I have watched this video before to get my my usage stats for the tournament, because I've been tracking the usage stats. I don't really know where I was going with that, but we do have Goldango coming out and getting its leftovers knocked off and missing a Thunder Wave, which is unfortunate for sure. Very unfortunate. Empoleon comes out and Quick's knockoff, gonna get rid of Gudra's leftovers, which is going to hurt its longevity quite a bit. However, this thing does pose a little bit of a problem for Arrakis now, because it is quite bulky still, and it could potentially have Life Dew in the last slot, but we don't know that. Life Dew is a little bit of a niche pick that was discovered fairly recently, but yeah, alright, Gudra gonna be going down, and now Landorus is on quite low health actually. Swords Dance Empoleon, gonna get hit by a knockoff. However, that knockoff's gonna be very low power since its leftovers were already removed. Alright, that Wave Crash gonna take out both Empoleon. And then there are 2 Pokemon left. There's Lucario and Infernape. Heavy Duty Boots Infernape, which is interesting. And Special Infernape, too. Very interesting. Nasty Plots, Heavy Duty Boots Infernape. Which is an interesting pick for sure. Choiced physical sets tend to be the norm, but you never know. Flamethrower going to be doing a lot of damage to Gloking, actually. Quite a bit of damage. Yeah, and that's going to be the game, it looks like, with no Terra left for Lucario, and Extreme Speed not being able to even do half to Infernape. That is gonna be the game, wrapping up this set with a 2-0 for Arrakis, which, since this is a loser's bracket game, that is going to be knocking Blitz out of the tournaments. Sad to see you go, but Arrakis is going to be moving on to losers round 2. And rightfully so, I think, even though you did have Rubambi Goldango, which it's not exactly the worst pairing, but it is actually because Goldango's on the team. But yeah, good matchup for Landorus, good matchup for Infernape too. Just all around very good matchup for Arrakis. And Blitz running an interesting team game 1, and then a slightly less interesting but better team game 2. Yeah, just all around great stuff from both sides, I think. Innovation and tradition. Arrakis is one of the members of the ContrarianMons Council, as am I. And yeah, it was nice to see them do their work. But yeah, that is just about all for this round of the tournament. If you did enjoy, then of course make sure to subscribe to not miss the rest of the tournament. This is going to be ongoing for quite a while. And of course, if you are a Pikmin fan, I'm going to have some Pikmin videos releasing fairly soon, is all I'm going to say. But yeah, I think I've rambled enough. Also join the ContrarianMons Discord server, down in the description, and now I've rambled enough. So, until next time, this is going to be Shoot Kapow, over and out.